Today we'll be talking about the old hag. If you experienced the downright terrifying experience of sleep paralysis, you're not alone. Roughly 30% of the population can say the same, and there are plenty of legends and lores from long ago to explain this once unexplainable phenomenon. Sleep paralysis is often accompanied by a heavy sensation as though something is sitting on your chest and keeps you immobilized. In Newfoundland, Canada, that something was an old witch-like creature known as the old hag, also known as the night hag. It is described as a wrinkled and withered old woman, witch-like, with her long hair and drawn countenance. The story goes that just as you fall asleep, she creeps in, crawling from the foot of your bed to perch on your chest, making it impossible to move or breathe, and generally scare you senseless. The story behind her, the old hag, is not surprising that people who experienced sleep paralysis long ago came up with their own explanation for such an awful experience. And an old hag sitting on their chest makes as much sense as an evil spirit. In fact, in Newfoundland, it makes perfect sense. Culture plays a big role in folktales and mythology, and many of the province's early settlers came from England, Ireland, and Scotland, where witches certainly had an influence. Until the early 20th century, hag riding and hagging were common explanations for sleep paralysis in certain parts of western and southern England. In fact, in Somerset and Dorset, assault cases were brought before the courts against suspected witches thought to be behind this sort of witchcraft. As people emigrated to Newfoundland, these sort of beliefs came along as well. In manuscripts from as early as 1896 in Newfoundland, people share stories of the old hag and what might be done to keep her at bay. A man told me he had been ridden to death by an old hag until a knowledgeable old man advised him to drive nails to a shingle and lash it to his breast when he went to bed. In 1978, a small paper looked at the psychological and physical experience interpreted in Newfoundland as an old hag attack to those of sleep paralysis. Data from 69 adults revealed no physical or psychological illness differences between people who believe they have been visited by the old hag and those who have not. Still, the legend persists even today. People in Newfoundland are likely to describe sleep paralysis as being hagged. What is the old hag syndrome? Is a term used primarily in Newfoundland to describe symptoms of sleep paralysis. People awaken suddenly but are unable to move and have difficulty breathing due to a feeling of heaviness on their chest. Many people report a sense of something evil or sinister. It's a terrifying experience, sometimes accompanied by hallucinations. People see things they cannot explain. With old hag syndrome, this sinister presence is thought to be a witch who is sitting on someone's chest, making it impossible to move. While Newfoundland folklore blames sleep paralysis on the old hag, other cultures have their own explanations. In pre-Arabic stories, for example, it was the jinn possessing people with nightmares and causing the heavy sensation associated with sleep paralysis. The scientific explanation isn't quite as sensational. Sleep paralysis is what happens when you wake up as you're going into or coming out of the rapid eye movement or REM sleep. This is when you're most likely to have dreams and the muscles in your limbs are more relaxed. Your brain keeps them still to avoid injury that may occur if you move during a dream. In addition to feeling like you can't move, other symptoms of sleep paralysis include the inability to speak, a sense of helplessness and fear, anxiety, panic, a tightening in the throat, and feeling like you're being suffocated. The old hag is unquestionably a frightening entity. While the stories of some mythological creatures can get a little contradictory at times, themes about the old hags are predominantly evil. Folklore in Newfoundland is a big component of the province's heritage, and there are many similarities to folktales from what is now the United Kingdom. Many of these tales are whimsical, like the oral story about the province mischievous, enchanting fairies, but while these tales warn that fairies were to be respected and avoided, though not necessarily feared, the old hag is a story meant to frighten. In European folklore, a hag is an evil, ugly old woman who dabbles in witchcraft. It's a definition that endures today. While some Newfoundlanders may still blame the old hag for a poor night's sleep, modern portrayals cast her as something far more deadly. A TV series called Hag, available on Amazon Prime, a movie called The Old Hag Syndrome, and various depictions of malicious old witches in the horror genre paint the character as truly evil. Yeah, if you guys want to watch that, I will put like that information down below in the description. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this joint. That was The Old Hag. If you guys want to see any folklores in general, just let me know down below. I love y'all. You guys have been crushing this channel. I love y'all. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.